What's going on, everybody? My name is Ben and welcome back to the bench for another episode here on our 1/48 scale F3H Demon by Hobby Boss. Today we're going to jump back into the model kit. I did miss last week, but no worries. We're going to get some stuff done today. Now last time we went ahead and worked on the fuselage. We got the fuselage more or less set. We got everything nicely re-scribed. We lost a lot of panel lines. We had to go ahead and put those back in. We also went ahead and put together the foldable part of the wing as well as the main parts of the wings, and those are ready to go ahead and be installed. So yeah, not too shabby. We do have to go ahead today and work on the canopy so I can go ahead and get those closed up, and then I can start priming, pre-shade, and get ready for next episode to really get this thing moving. But yeah, I think we're on the right track. We are getting there. So in today's episode, we're going to start off here with the wing prep. We're going to do some sanding, some seam filling. We're going to work on that tail cone because I did end up losing some of the detail. I want to go ahead and repair that detail. And of course, just jump into the wing installation and eventually mask off that canopy. So lots to do. Let's go ahead and jump on in there. Let's get this party started. Alright everybody, we are back and so far so good. The wings are attached onto the fuselage. Everything is nicely repaired for that tail cone. So we did a little bit of work off camera for the rear decking and airbrushed the rear decking a NATO black, and I also installed a very small box right against the rear of that armor plate. And I've been looking at the references and it doesn't look like that box actually exists in the same location. So I think what I'm going to do is pull that box off, sand it, repaint that area, and then install that box onto the arched part here of the movable details that sit underneath the main canopy. I think that's a little bit better, matches with the references. I think it's a good idea to relocate this to the top of that moving section. And then we'll go ahead and jump back in, do a little bit of work on the wing fences. Those have to be sanded, they have to be installed. They are PE parts, so we're going to use some super glue. And yeah, we're just going to keep pushing on, and hopefully we'll get this thing all ready for priming. Let's jump on in there. Let's fix up this little detail area and move on to those wing fences. Alright, we are back and we've got the wing fences nicely glued in place and it's looking okay. So now we're going to move over to the wing fold area because I've been comparing what we have here in the kit, what we have in reference photos, and there just doesn't seem to be a lot of similarity. There are some definite areas that we need to go ahead and pay attention to. So I think what we're going to do first is I want to drill out some of these lightning holes all through the end here. And then I want to try and do something with the fuel dump. As you can see in the reference photos, there's a tube, you see it here on the model as well, that comes out of the trailing edge of the wing. That's actually for the fuel dump system. If you look at the references, you see that tube very prominently going all through that back portion of the wing fold. And you just don't see that here in the kit. So I'm going to attempt to go ahead and cut out what we have and make my own out of styrene. Go ahead and round out the corners so it looks similar to what we have here in the model kit. And then we're going to just try to glue them in and hope for the best. I don't think it's going to be very easy to do, but you know what? I've got an idea, so we're just going to go for it. Let's go ahead and jump into our next time lapse. We're going to work on those wing fold areas, do some drilling, do some scratch building, and we'll see what we come up with. You never know, could be an improvement. So let's see what we can do. Well, that was a lot of work, guys, and I'm not really sure if it really paid off. It looks a little bit more detailed, but honestly, it could have been fine the other way too. I don't know. I did try scribing in lines and that did not work. So I don't know. It is what it is. And I think it was fun. It's experience. So we're going to go ahead and move on with some of the flaps and the ailerons, getting those all nicely glued together and installed into the model. And then I think I want to turn my attention over to getting this thing ready for priming. We still have to go ahead and do some details there on the air brakes, get those PE portions installed and rework some of those gaps because there's a really nasty looking locating tab right in the middle of the PE air brake. And that's got to go. So we're going to go ahead and fill that with some styrene, come back over, and then I want to prime everything with Mr. Surfacer 1200. So let's go ahead and jump into our last time lapse for the day, see what we can do and finish off strong. All right, everybody. Well, as you can see, the Demon is nicely primed. Our fuselage is complete. And yeah, I was very happy that I was able to get some of these panel lines to work out and cooperate. We do have a little bit of a gap right here in the front with the gun panels, but that's expected. And I want to do a little bit more sanding on the nose, but yeah, other than that, the wing fold mechanism, I don't really know if it's an improvement over what it was, but let me zoom in for you and you can check out what we've done. I was able to get those nice long seam lines right there on the fuselage. The front vent here is a mess. I can't do anything with that. And the nose needs a little bit of sanding along with that one little seam at the bottom. Everything else still looks fine on the fuselage. Moving on back to the tail cone. And as you can see, we did repair that damage, so that is okay. You're not going to see it much anyway. And then of course our wing folds with our makeshift fuel dumping pipe, and then we drilled out some areas and attached the brackets for the folded part of the wing. I also went ahead and primed up the folded part of the wings. Those are ready to go. The PE fences worked well, so I'm happy about that. And of course we put together and primed up the air brakes. We are getting there. We also went ahead and primed up the rear tail planes. Those are ready for installation and painting, so that's awesome. And we did do a little bit of priming on one of the last sprues here with all of our parts, like the landing gears, the wheel covers, of course the wheels, struts, actuators, all that good stuff. So yeah, I think we are on a good position to go ahead and call it quits for today. And then next time we'll come on back, do a little bit more work here on the wing fold mechanism, trying to make it look a little bit better. And then we can go ahead and start pre-shade, get some nice lines drawn out on the model, and then go ahead and start just attaching the parts and pieces on eventually. So yeah, I think we are good for today. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Demon. Next time we're going to come on back and do a little bit of pre-shading and hopefully get this thing into paint so we can go ahead and start on a new project. But until our next episode, guys, you know the drill. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we'll see you back here on episode 7 for more adventures with our hobby boss Demon. Thanks for watching, everybody. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.